Shall we begin? Shall we begin? You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off those filthy shoes and super violate that like button. And the story goes, Fat Joe suing his ghostwriter, TA. TA, I told you to stop playing with him. If you was going to go at Joe, stop holding back. Stop. Yo, TA, come on. We talk, TA. I told you 1,000 times. Stop playing with Joe. See, the reason why I fell back off the situation with TA is because TA was playing with Joe and not taking it serious. And Joe's not playing. I knew Joe was going to pull them lawyers out. I knew he was going to pull them lawyers out. And see, this is what y'all got to understand, right? Matter of fact, bring it. Let's rewind this. Rewind. Let's bring it back, right? So, Fat Joe had a fallout with his ghostwriter, TA. For some time, they went their separate ways. After some time, Joe gets on the internet and he calls him a sofa surfer. A sofa surfer? He called him a bum. He called him a bum. TA wasn't feeling that. So, Tasha K was supposed to interview TA. She told me to tell TA, if somebody else touched this story before she touches it, she's not touching it. I told TA in return, do not get on, I forget the other brother name. Don't get on his platform first. If you're going to go at Joe, you want to have a big dog behind you, backing you. TA goes on, forgive me for forgetting the brother's name. I forget the platform. He goes on the platform. Tasha K falls back. TA comes on my platform. We have discussions. My only problem with TA is not that I don't believe TA. I believe everything that TA is saying because there's other niggas around Joe and Joe's camp that solidified what this brother's saying. And, rest in peace to Percy. Percy stood behind TA. Percy had love for TA. So there's a lot of dudes that got love for Joe that said TA word is his word on the situation. So now, me dealing with things that I've seen, right? With Fat Joe. For example, Big Pun's wife. I live in Bronx River, 1455 Harrod Avenue, most of my younger life. When Pun died, the only thing that Liza had was Pun's truck. She was homeless. Before she went to the shelter, she was living with her cousin Rachel in my building with her children, homeless. And for me to see Pun at the top of his game, and when a rapper dies, they network skyrockets. So me seeing what that sister went through, shout out to her, shout out to the kids. I stand behind Liza 110%. I didn't even realize she was in my own Facebook Messenger some years back. I seen messages that I never seen. I never seen your message, Liza. So I stand behind her and the family. And I know a lot of people was like, yo, that was 20, 30 years ago. I don't care how many years ago. If Pun was your brother and he was your rise to fame, how you leave his wife for dead with the kids and then turn around and have his best friend cut? That's why I tell y'all pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Yeah, Joe do some real shit for some of the dudes around him, not all. He take kid niggas that he know is gonna bust they gun. So you really paying for security. It's not that you got love for these dark-skinned Honduras niggas that you was running with. No. Allegedly, Joe was very racist. Very, very racist. So back to TA now. He got TA on tour with him. TA's touring with him. One day, TA decides to go out and bag a shorty. He bags the shorty. Next thing you know, they in a limo, according to TA. And there's police reports on this, I have to say allegedly, because Joe wasn't found guilty. But him and TA was under police scrutiny and under arrest, right? For essaying a young lady. Now, at the time, out of fear, of course, TA, when the police is investigating, because the young lady said that Joe took his hands and put them in places that they don't belong. You know, the news articles it's there. It made the news. But the case never went anywhere. Because now you don't know whether to believe this young lady or to believe TA. Right? So where there's smoke, there's fire. But sometimes criminals, we get away with things. We get away with things. We don't always get found guilty. Sometimes we get home and we get around stuff, being sneaky. I'm not saying Joe's guilty. I'm saying something just ain't right. Some of the stories that TA was telling me, I'll let TA tell him himself. But to me, the stories that he told me, he wasn't really, he was holding back. And he wasn't telling on the internet. And it's not for me to tell. But with the story about Chiquita, the young girl, well, what I will say about Chiquita, the 16-year-old girl that Joe was allegedly in love with, TA just recently played the audio talking to the girl or the girl's cousin, one of the two, right? The girl, I believe it's the girl cousin, right? And after he played the audio of you know, the girl saying, you know, Joe did whatever he was alleged to do, he played the audio of a song that I never heard where Fat Joe was bragging about having a 16-year-old girlfriend. What? What do you know? Joe made a song bragging about doing his thing with a 16-year-old girl. Now, to all the niggas out there that I know that rock with Joe, how y'all rock with him after that? This nigga worse than Shannon Sharp. I mean, isn't this the same Joe that decided to speak on my situation with Africa Bambaataa talking about if he's guilty of what he's been accused of being guilty of, all those pedos should die? Isn't that what Joe said? No wonder he could stand by Africa Bambaataa knowing, see, because Joe acting like he don't know. Everybody that knows Africa Bambaataa tell you that he's a vulture for little boys. Everybody knows that. There's no getting around that. There's no I heard. It's like, nah, that nigga's a weirdo. Now, Joe falls in the same boat here. And TA, I told you stop playing with this nigga. If you're going to go at him, go at him. Stop playing with him. I fell back off of the situation with TA. Not TA. TA's still my dude. I support him 110%. But the reality of it is, see, now, here's the thing. When it's time for TA to go to court with Joe and come forward with these allegations, he's going to have to produce that young lady. He's going to have to convince her to come forward. He's going to have to produce her. And some of the other young ladies that, see, TA is years younger, decades younger, or a decade younger than Joe. So, according to TA, allegedly, Joe used to use him to recruit girls after he got off the stage being a hype man. The truth of the matter is, me personally, that's what I think the only reason why Joe really kept him around as far as outside of him being a ghostwriter. Because allegedly, he wrote most of Joe's hit. But Joe kept him in the background and even used him sometimes to use his hands to fight for Joe as muscle. Allegedly. I got to say allegedly because I don't know none of this to be true. I'm just taking the word of TA based off of other people who vouch for him. So now all these years, he never got paid for them songs he helped with Joe. Joe took him, been around the world, kept him around, used him and abused him. And when he was done with him and didn't need him no more, he threw him back to the slums. Kept him broke where he was needy of Joe. Kept him broke. And I see this happen way too many times. That's why I be getting mad at some of my niggas that I know that be touring with these rappers. It's like, y'all part of this camp, part of that camp, and there's a bunch of them. Part of this camp, part of that camp. And it's like, yo, how you down or you affiliated with these rappers that won't even share your music or share your Instagram on their Instagram page, which is something that's free. That's why I don't be feeling niggas. Because niggas will be mad at me or feeling and they feelings about me or acting funny style. But the niggas that y'all molly-whopping these niggas is in position. I'm sitting up there sacrificing at my YouTube and posting niggas' music, getting copyrights, all types of shit like that. And niggas is praising celebrities. Loyal to celebrities. I refuse to stand next to a rich rapper and go home broke. That's what he did to TA. Sent him home back to her. You know what it's like to be running around with a millionaire and you come back to your wife and kid broke? And then years later when he's done with you, he get on the internet and call you a sofa surfer? TA had every right to be upset. TA just didn't play his cards right. When he went at Joe, he shouldn't have been holding back. He should have let everybody know about his fat fetishes, them fat, nasty fetishes. Man, listen. He should have told all the stories that it's not my place to tell them. It's not my place. But listening to some of the stories that he told about Joe, it'll make you throw up. And the reality of it is, yes, I could believe it because when Joe take those clothes off, that nigga ain't no eye candy for no female. He's never been. Niggas like him gotta dress fly and have money. From day one to day 50 going on 60 years old, Joe gotta dress fly to hide all that fat, and now he fat skinny? With all the roses hanging, and nigga, you look knock-kneed? Ain't no female in a rush to get into bed with him. And in order to send somebody to go get a female for you, you know she gotta have low self-esteem. That's when you know you're dealing with a nigga that's capable of anything. But nevertheless, Fat Joe was taking TA to court and suing TA. TA should have been taking Fat Joe to court and suing him. That's first and foremost. Second of all, TA should have came back and he should have gave the rundown, the total rundown. I mean, me, when TA came on my platform, I told him certain things like, for example, I'm not going at Joe's family, his wife and his kids and none of the rest of that, telling his wife business, but yeah, if I was UTA, I would take the gloves off now. You ain't got nothing to lose, my nigga. Absolutely nothing to lose. Niggas suing you to put you deeper and deeper and deeper in the hole so that if you ever get on your feet, you'll never be on your feet. What's the difference between that and robbing somebody of a brick? You might have $1 million sitting there waiting for you, but before it touches your hands, he already got you going to court. Can I blame Joe in today's time for suing TA? Hell no, I can't blame him. You know why? Do you see what's going on with Diddy? Do you see what Jay-Z just went through? Do you see what's going on with Shannon Sharp? When the elite decides that they want Joe to go through a humiliation ritual, and they feel like you've been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Huh? In DMX voice? When they feel like Joe been eating long enough and it's time for him to go through his humiliation ritual, they gonna re-step or go through the steps of all these allegations that TA accused him of. They're gonna go find that girl that charged, oh, yeah, the girl that filed a complaint against you, Joe? When it's your turn to go through the humiliation ritual, Joe, you know you better keep on performing. Whatever performances you be doing, whatever sacrifices you be doing, behind that door, my nigga, the door, the Nori's door, you know the door that Wallow and Gilly keep talking about, but get mad at me when I talk about that door? You better keep going through that door, my nigga. Because the minute you stop going through that door, and Satan is and done with you, Joe, you're going to go through your humiliation ritual. And you're going to have the world looking at you the same way they looking at Shannon Sharp right now. The same way they looking at Diddy right now. That's my take on the situation, man. TA, I wish you the best of luck in court. I told you to stop playing with Joe. I fell back off of the situation with Joe because I said if I was going to go at it with Joe, you can't half step with that nigga. Joe is nothing to be played with. Not in the street or on the internet. Nigga, the nigga got money. Y'all forget, he spoke on Africa being by the situation. And after he spoke on Africa being by the situation, I lost my monetization an hour and a half later. Joe said he didn't do it. But then the other brother, the other channel, I'm forgetting the name. I don't know what's wrong with my memory right now. It's going to come back to me. Panda Chops, Panda Chops, Panda Chops. Shout out to Panda Chops. Panda Chop posted some videos about Joe. And coincidentally, he lost his monetization. You think I believe in coincidences? Absolutely not. It is what it is. That was my take on the situation. I would have went full throttle on Joe if TA wasn't holding back like, nah, my nigga. You'd have told me some of the stories on the phone that you ain't telling on the internet. Let it go. You dealing with a nigga like Joe, you better let go a full clip. Because now Joe gonna unleash legal hell on you. It is what it is. Shout out to TA. All you niggas that standing around Joe, that listen to his songs, and he rapping about having sex with a 16-year-old. Then y'all see the shit that happened with Africa Bambaataa, which led to the problem that me and Joe have, and y'all not gonna G-check him? That's why I don't respect you niggas. It's just like that. I can't respect you. You can't tell me you a real nigga, but then you hear this nigga rapping about having sex with a 16-year-old, and you cool with that? And then some of you niggas got daughters? You got daughters. I see you. I'm out.